So first I'm gonna take a look at the euro, then I start taking a look at other markets. But this move that went up, this was, I'm gonna show some because people knew before it happened. The move on the euro, people knew, and I'm gonna prove it. Anyway, so let me just get rid of all these. Where is this shit? Because I was looking at this also, and I couldn't figure it out. So what happened was this right here, this range, breakout, 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 going down, down, down. Then I saw this, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out like what the hell is going on here, because that right there is the biggest since the 18th. Okay, and you know what happened on the 18th? That was climactic, which created a minor counter trend back up. So when it came back over here with that kind of volume, after this trend was in effect, that has to mean something. Can it be effort reward? Not all the way down here. Not all the way down here. Okay, it gave that impression, but I knew like it couldn't just be that kind of effort down here because they would distribute at higher levels. So this right here was actually buying on 1030 right here. Where's the right there? There was the buying off of this level. Okay, so that's what was going on at that time. Um, so I mean, there's nothing really more to it. I just couldn't figure it out because it kept on going lower after this break, and that's why I just didn't know. So in Wyckoff terminology, I think they call this preliminary demand. Right before the climax or something like that, preliminary demand. It's just early warning sign of a whole lot of buying, and that did occur here. A lot of volume came in, and I guess this was preliminary demand. And then, as I explained in my earlier video, this thing right here was the accumulation. Why I thought this was as price went down, it was supported. Down again, down again, down again. It hinged and then finally broke out and then had a fall through breakout. These two green together, like this was telling me that it's a breakout of a range. And that little rectangle I drew is the range of accumulation, and these two are the breakout of that area. Okay, these two take out that area. That was a resistance, pop right above resistance, and now it's in markup. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of get a target. So I want to take it from the point of accumulation to this point over here. This is the last point of support. So let's take the cause. Say about 14. Effect. Around there. So that's what I'm looking at off of this base. Does it mean it has to go there? No. Does it mean that it could potentially go there? Oh, hell yeah. But that is just potential, or I just view it as a guesstimate. That's what I call it, a guesstimate. Anyway, so now let's take a look at the lower time frame. Lower time frame, I'm actually getting ready for a nice little pullback, probably to test the breakout. So I have to be a little careful here. Here it is. And again, this is like really I really like this because maybe it's because it's so obvious. I don't know. As you could see, after this wave right here, right there, you have your high volume sinus strength, which occurred right there. So this was your sinus strength, and you had your low volume test. It didn't do a lot of testing. It just pulled back to this area. So you have your low volume pullback indication, and then it just went up. But your sign of strength was right here, where it says HV. So it's downtrend, and you have HV. So that HV, you had other indication, like there was a breakout of this area right here, right? And then HV means high volume. So high volume is coming in from the lows, right, and pulled back on only 7K, which is less than 50% of the up volume, and then it broke out. So as I explained in the prior video, it took out 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 highs. So your sinus strength, that's your pullback, and that's your markup. So it marked up, continued to go. So you have 38,000, 39,000, 20,000 pullback. Can't really read this because 20 something, 25,000, then 8,000 pullback again, low volume pullback. So it's not enough to break the market. And it continues on 21,000, and then this indication, like at first I'm thinking, is this effort reward, but not like this, not that high up like that. So this was the initial area where they sold. You see again, high volume, HV. This wave right here is the biggest in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 8 waves. This red here is bigger than 8 prior down waves. Like, that's meaningful. So it's not pullback volume. Alright, it's not pullback. You can tell it's not pullback. Why? The rally volume is less than the pullback volume. The rally volume is 21,000, pullback on 29,000. So again, they're selling off this area. And what's really nice is when they do make the next rally up, it doesn't attract that much of a following, meaning it only attracts 13,000. You see? So let me find my line. You see the volume on the next rally decreases, but the volume on the reaction increases. And that alone, it's not enough. The fact that this is heavy volume, high volume, 29,000, greater than 8, greater than 20, greater than 13, greater than 7, greater than 14, greater than 13, greater than 6. They're selling the high. That's what you do. Buy low, sell high. They're selling the high. Then it makes a higher high, but it doesn't draw out that much volume. Only draws out 13,000. And now we're at this point where from that high, 41,000. So what does that say? It says clearly that these are sellers. Either they're selling the high. That's what it looks like. Look at this. Look at this. This is the biggest in all of these waves since the climax. So we're looking at the uptrend. The uptrend started here. There we go. Right? So we're going to look from that point. That's where the uptrend initiated. From that point, look at the red. From this red, this red, this red, this red. And you can see that this is the biggest selling wave, and the buying waves are getting smaller. So it's very clear that this is a sign of weakness. Very, very clear. This is not effort reward. This is someone selling the high. So is your sign of weakness. In fact, it could even be this one, but this is very clear where it breaks the low and goes red, right? So they start selling over here. Like heavy sellings first started here, bob it up to a new high. As you can see, it failed. Why did it fail? Because it's low volume with that's actually a turning point right up there for a trend. That's how you catch tops, but that's a different video. Anyway, goes down, up, plow, right there. You have your heavy volume. Now I want to see the testing. And so far, nothing special. There's nothing special, right? There's nothing special, but let's let it come back up and see how much volume it attracts, and then all the different behavior, what to look for and all that. Okay, now one thing you don't want to do, especially in the yen, is when you see this type of heavy selling pressure, right? What a lot of people will do is just put like 50% retracement and just sell that and put a stop above the high, like right above the high. That's not what you want to do, because these markets, they will tend to upthrust. Okay, why? Because they know that early shorts are going to sell the pullback into this area and be very scared. So when they're scared, they're going to put a stop right above here. Okay, the early shorts, and they will definitely be early shorts. They're trained in this market. These guys are, I don't know why they do this, but they train to use Fibonacci. So what they're going to do is they'll use Fibonacci and sell a retracement right back in here and put a stop like right over here. So if the CM can, he's going to run those stops above this area, and they're very slick. They really know how to catch the stops. So you don't want to just sell because of a big wave. Very important. This happens. I've seen what they do in all these markets. There's a tendency to upthrust or spring, and this one is very clear. So I think the trend is broken, and I think it's ready for a pullback. It can go down into this area right here, like easily, because it's untested and the trend is still up, right? But it can go to that area easily. But you want to wait for the testing. Like, don't jump the gun. Anyway, let's see what I'm looking at. Let's move on to the next victim, the GBP. GBP is also interesting because after all of this, they had this. This was the climax right here. This is not that easy to detect. I have to use something. Let me see. Anyway, I'm going to start focusing more on climaxes, but this was the climax. Now, how do you know, like, it's a climax or this or that, or the trend is going to turn? When it took out the high. This is the climax bar right here, right? But what if this was a breakout or something else? If that's the case, and this was heavy selling pressure, why did the price break out above it? If the CM is selling, why is the price breaking out above that area? It means it's not selling, it's buying on the other side. Okay, so it goes down into his purse or his pocket or his wallet. All of this volume goes right into his pocket, and so this is accumulation in this here, and now it's going higher. So he accumulated here, and it's going higher. Now the base here minimum was this, but since it's going higher, I'm going to have to take a bigger base across this area, and it's gone to that base. So This market is ready to pull back or consolidate, and that's what it's doing right now. Let's take a look at his chart. All right. Let's see this shit. Yeah, I mean, this wave is way climactic, so you just one big strong wave. So we have an indication of a climax up here. Now I want to see. This is a strong. Let's see, 48,000. I mean, that is selling. That is selling. No question. But the thing is, there's so much fundamental news on it that it could just be a pullback to go higher. So I'm going to have to like I'm just gonna chill out on this market. I'm gonna take that back because it's too strong. I'm not gonna. I'm not looking for this. But 96 down, 48 up, it's almost half. So I'm gonna back off of this because even though it can pull back and it can go up right after, and I don't want to deal with that. So there's no not gonna look for short here, but the euro is definitely set up for a beautiful short position. Anyway, let's moving on up to the yen. Let's go to the yen. The yen also I find very interesting because here's this thing is such a beautiful springboard that really worth looking at. And I want to show another type of springboard. Okay, this right here is also a springboard right there. Let me label it. Find my mouse. Damn it. Where's my note? Alright, just give me a second here. This right here is a very nice springboard. Why? Why is this a nice springboard? It has the elements of a springboard. Alright, so you have a base, you have a rally, you have a pullback, you have higher supports, you have a hinge, and you have a long hinge. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's tightening. It's coming to a dead center, and with like no volume. See in that area? It's poor volume. So it's like a base. You have a rally. You have a pullback. Supply totally diminishes, and it comes into that apex-like formation and reaches a dead center, and there it exploded. So this is also very noteworthy when you have a base. I actually like it when it's connected more with the base and it's directly after a rally. Like you see, like let me compare to the yen. You see, the yen is a rally and a long base, so it's like a gun. See that? It's like a gun. Over here, it's not like a gun. It's like an upside down gun, but it's that same characteristic of price at the lows, rallying, pullbacks, and then has a long dead center. But what's happening is this consolidation in a tightening range. That's why it's like XO, XO, XO like that. So this is also a type of springboard. It's not as obvious, but it's a springboard. Anyway, I think I went over this. Put this away. Alright, so looking at the yen, their springboard initiated. Now it's pulling back and it's tightening and it's pulling back and it's come all the way down to a support. Okay, which means that, well, I'm looking to see if their demand come in. So there is one indication that told that this pullback was coming. All right, that indication, you have to look at the rally and the volume that it brings. So this is the rally. The last rally brought in this much volume. It's good volume because it's increasing. It's bigger than the consolidation volume. It's increasing on the rally. But what is not good is that it's not the highest volume. This pullback here actually drew out more volume than the rally. That right there was an indication there's trouble, because they're selling the rally highs. You see how the volume increased? And after that, like, so that was the little clue. Okay. Anyway, so now it's coming back here, and something's got to give, because it's, it price went down to a support area, and there's no demand. The force of supply diminished. The force of demand created this minor rally. Okay, so the pullback, supply came in, force of supply was weakened right here, okay, because it's not able to go lower, and demand is at a support level, and all it did was this little rally. It didn't do much. So supply came in, took it down to a secondary support level, which is this, and now it's still like not good, but someone's going to show their hand, the bulls or the bears. So it's you got, definitely want to watch this, because it's ready. It's like it's ready to do something. It's at a support level, extended consolidation or correction, pulling back and tightening. So it's gonna go. Something's gonna happen, and you just have to be ready to take advantage of that opportunity. It's gonna happen. So let's see what is available. If I take a look at the wave chart, this right here is something that caught my eye. This right here is, in my opinion, was the initial sign of strength. Why I say it's a sign of strength? Why is this big volume came in, and what happened was, like, at first I didn't know, but then when I drew the line, I saw the spring. So that helped see the story, because this market, I'm telling you, this is one of the most notorious markets. This yen has a tendency to spring and upthrust and trap traders. This is a horrible market. If you don't know what you're doing, it is. This is not the first time. This is its behavior. That's your sign of strength. And this right here, you had low volume pullback. And now, like, someone might say, I'll show you the incorrect way of viewing this as well. Alright, anyway, so that's the 27. It goes down on 8, and then it retested and fake breakout, which was off of the support level, and it did not draw anything significant, no significant volume. So off this area, all it did was spring, right? All it did was spring, and the pressure that was very weak. Now there was another interpretation which you just have to keep in mind, but like I I knew which ones through experience which ones to use. The other interpretation is that you're in a downtrend and it goes down on 15,000, and this is the low volume right here, right? This is the low volume pullback here, and it breaks down. So this is like your bear, I don't know what they call bear flag or bear pennant or whatever, in a downtrend and continues. Now, when you're judging, a lot of people will only after the trade or after loss they'll look at it and say, "Whoa, what is this? You know, it was there in front of me." Blah blah blah. How would you know which opinion like to weigh? Okay, the first thing is you want to keep both opinions in mind, not just one opinion, bullish and bearish, and that is a skill to be able to not get married to like one opinion, but keep both the bullish and the bearish, both of them in mind until you have confirmation. So don't the mistake people do is they pick opinion and they stick with it, which means there's a lack of flexibility. The second mistake they do is not look at the other time frames. This thing is at a support level. It's at a support level. So, if I tell you this, you see this volume coming in, right? Where is this? You see this volume coming in, and then you see continuation. If I tell you that that volume is coming in at a support level in an uptrend, immediately, if you're 50-50, you'll tip, the mind will tip on the side of the bulls because of two facts. One, it's at support level. Two, it's rallying from a support level with volume. And three, the higher time frame is in an uptrend. Those three facts will then weigh the judgment in favor of the bulls. And if still you're confused, like, then just look at this. It's a higher high. It took out 1, 2, 3, 4. Four highs. So what else you want? Right. Green, 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 green. I don't know what this is, but this is green and this is green. After that, all this green, you have about 8 or 10 bars in a row green. It gets pretty, it tips in the favor of the bulls. Now, would I have bought this 8,000 here? No. Would I bought this 8,000 here? No. After this rally, is the pullback a nice little opportunity? Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is right at the point where it's ready for a buy. Right at that point, I just want to watch one more pullback or watch one more behavior, and it's ready for hit the buy for me. And I'm not giving any opinion. Anyway, it goes down here. There's your creek right here, the range. There's a spring. It's actually a spring. There's a spring. There it is. It's a low volume spring, but I don't want to mention all of that. You have low volume here, pull back spring, higher high confirmation, sign of strength, ding 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 ding, bang, pulls back the test right where it's supposed to. Right where it's supposed to. Stop would be under here. So you'll see. Okay, 10,000, 10,000. Yeah, it's ready. So you see how everything's in check? The entire sequence. Like, you have your sinus strand, you have your spring, you have low volume pullback, your high confirmation. I think there might be one more pullback here, but we'll see. Like, I'll get on this somewhere. Anyway, so that is the Japanese yen. Let's put this back. Also, let's see. On a micro time frame, you can see the heavy volume that came right there. You see? See that? Bang! Right there. There's a nice base, the nice spring, with a nice heavy volume breakout, nice pullback. This is your point of control, or whatever that is. Heavy volume right there. Base, everything's there. So, alright, so trend reviews are done. Also, like, if you want to learn this style, this is just one particular style. Strongly recommend the Wyckoff course, the tape reading course, and also learning directly from the charts, like just studying the charts. Like, the best advice I could give is, if you want to learn how to trade upcoming trends, study past trends. If you want to learn how to trade and identify turning points and new trading opportunities, all you gotta do is study past trading opportunities. The behaviors are strikingly similar. Bye bye.